Dhoni doesn't deserve a test spot, and therefore he must make way for a new captain. Saurav wants to come in and respond to what he's heard Kapil say.
Not him. That's the selector's call. Are our selector ready to take a call as big as what Australian taken? No, we are not ready. We are not mature at this stage.
Then Rahul, why are we talking about guys like Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, or even Sachin Tendulkar to finish playing? They can keep on playing whatever time they want, because invariably they'll fail 4-5 test matches and get another 100. So I really don't see a solution in that. If the rule has to be, it has to be the same for everyone. And I can't see a difference in rule for different people. I'm not talking about Virendra Sehwag in one-day cricket. There's no question of making him a one-day captain, because he's not a good enough player in one-day cricket. He's a very good player in one-day cricket, but not as successful as he is in test matches. Virendra Sehwag as a test player will walk into the Indian team. I can bet you on that. Even with his failures in Australia, he still managed to get 260s, which none of the top order batsmen has managed to get on that tour. So I'm not saying Virendra Sehwag to be the one-day captain. I've categorically said that Dhoni should continue to be India's test captain and one-day captain. But Rahul, my thing is simple. If you lose 8-0 overseas, there has to be a change.
But does Virendra Sehwag give you confidence as a captain? That's the question Kapil Dev is asking you. He doesn't seem to be leading from the front, showing the way. As a captain, you want someone who will show the way. He gets out first ball, slashing over slips, gets caught out. That's not the sort of thing you want to see your captain do. You want him to lead the way, show the way to the other people in the team.
Yeah, but how? My question to you is, how bad can it be? You've lost 8-0.
It can't get worse than that.
It can't get worse than this.
So change the team. Why can't we change the team?
I'm not saying that obviously we'll also have to make changes.
What are the changes you'd like to see, Saurav? Let's hear you answer that question. What are the changes you'd like to see when the selectors meet?
See, my point is, if India would have lost 8-0 and Mahendra Singh Dhoni would have gone on to make 2 test hundreds, the answer would have been clear. Fair enough. India has lost, but the captain has done his job and he should continue as captain. I have not seen Mahendra Singh Dhoni get 100 in South Africa under pressure. I have not seen Dhoni get 100 against England under pressure in England. And I have not seen Dhoni get 100 in Australia under pressure in Australia. So where does the question arrive? The moment one-day cricket came, you saw a change in his batting, isn't it? Did we see it in the one-day series in Australia? He looked a completely different player. He was winning games for India, and you could see it, that it's a different Mahendra Singh Dhoni. You know, that's why I feel that you should have somebody as a captain in test match cricket who players in the dressing room will respect as a high-class test player.
I have time only for one more question to Saurav Ganguly and Kapil Dev. Let me put that question first to Dada. The selectors are meeting to choose the next team for the next tournament. What are the changes you'd like to see, Saurav?
Well, in one-day cricket, you will have to make changes, isn't it? The guys who haven't performed will have to go. Then otherwise, what's the point in performances and non-performances?
You said that India needs a new test captains. Let me ask you this direct question. Of the lot of players who are playing for India currently, who do you think, Dada, is best suited to take over from Dhoni at the end of this series as the next India test captain?
Well, that's a call the selectors will have to take, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who would be wanting the post, whether it's Gautam Gambhir, whether it's Virendra Sehwag. You never know. That's a call the selectors will have to take. For me, the question is simple. If Mahendra Singh Dhoni has to be captain of India in Test cricket, he has to perform better. His performances in Test
Dada, I'm not going to allow you to duck this bouncer. I'm not going to allow you to duck the bouncer. I want you to show a straight face to this ball and answer the question. If you were in charge and if you had to take this decision of the talent available in the team, who do you think is best suited to be the next Indian Test captain?
Well, you've got, as I said, you've got Gautam Gambhir, you've got Virendra Sehwag. You have to pick any one of them because I don't see Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman continuing for long. So obviously they cannot be captain of India. I don't see Sachin Tendulkar being captain of India, and I don't see the selectors dropping Virendra Sehwag from the Test matches. So these are the only two probable names which are there.
Of the two, whom would you choose? Of the two, Dada, whom would you choose? Virendra Sehwag's been out of form. Several people would say he doesn't deserve a place.
Anyone, Rahul.
No, whom would you choose, Dada? I'd like to know from you. Whom would you choose as captain at the end of this series after Dhoni is dropped from the Test team?
I would obviously go for Virendra Sehwag because he's a great Test player. He's not as good a one-day player as a Test player he is. He's almost close to 8,000, probably more than 8,000 Test runs in one day in Test cricket. He's a certainty for India in Test matches. Although he didn't play up to his standard in Australia, but he still got more runs than the likes of Gambhir and Dhoni in that series. So from that point of view, I think Sehwag is a great Test player. He still averages over 50. One-day cricket, yes, I've said before that he's not the same one-day player as he is a Test player. But if you have to pick a captain other than Mahendra Singh Dhoni in Test matches, my money would be on Virendra Sehwag.
Many would argue, Dada, that he hasn't done enough to justify his place in the Test squad. He's got out in the most callous and cavalier fashions. Why should this man, who hasn't done much as captain when he's had the chance, for example, with the Delhi Daredevils, he hasn't been able to make them win the IPL, hasn't shown much captaincy potential, why do you then back him to be the next Indian Test captain?
Yeah, but you're talking about Delhi Daredevil when it's T20 cricket. I've said that at T20 and one-day cricket it has to be Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So let's not compare the performances of Delhi Daredevils as captaincy because IPL is completely different. It's a different team, different way of selecting teams. And when you captain Team India or you pick Team India, you've got the best players of India. So it's two completely different things. And I've always said that Virendra Sehwag is a much better Test player than a one-day player. And you look at his Test captaincy record. I think he's captained India 4 times before he lost till he lost that Test match in Adelaide, and he had won all the Test matches he captained before the Adelaide Test match. So his captaincy record at the national level is not very poor. Although I don't judge captains with their performances in India, whether it's Virendra Sehwag, whether it's Dravid, Dhoni, myself, or Sachin Tendulkar. I've never judged captains with their wins at home. It's about wins overseas. And India has lost too many Test matches overseas, 8 in a row. And I think that's a lot, Rahul. Whether you accept it or not, whether you like it or not, that's a lot of Test matches to lose. 8 out of 8 Test matches overseas, and they have been drubbings. So if that's not a sign of a team which needs to be changed, then I don't know when will the change come.
Let me ask that same question to Kapil Dev. Drop Dhoni, find a new captain. Dada says make Sehwag captain. Do you think he's done enough on this tour and in the past to be made captain?
No, I think he failed in England and he failed in Australia badly. The captain should be ready to motivate. I think, Virendra Sehwag is a great cricketer. He never given me an impression he is motivating everybody, whichever manner you can put it. I think fantastic cricket. At this stage, I don't think so. I would like to change Dhoni. You can put more pressure on Dhoni, say, stay there and try to build a team the way you are playing 2020 or one.
So you're saying give Dhoni another chance, don't make Sehwag captain.
Definitely. And second, if you want to bring some youngster like Virat Kohli or Gautam Gambhir, then these 3-4 senior cricketer have to take a break and then you bring it. When a person like you're talking about Virat Kohli make a captain, no, I think I gone through that similar phase and it's a very, very tough call when you have a cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar, Lakshman, Rahul Dravid, a 15 years senior cricketer, and you make him captain, it will be a very tough for any young boy. That's the only thing I would put it. I think you can wait. Yes, you can put more pressure on Dhoni. If you can play one-day cricket like that, why can't you play Test cricket also?
Let me ask that question to Saurav Ganguly. Kapil Dev in the studio suggesting that he's done way too much in the past, Dada. He's won us the T20 World Championship. He's won us the World Cup. He's taken us to #1 in Test cricket. Give him another chance. Put him under pressure. He's done way too much in the past to be dumped and discarded at the end of one horrible Australia series. That's what Kapil Dev is saying. I want to know from you what you think about this, Dada.
Well, he's done well in the World Cup. He's done well in the T20. So he continues as one-day captain and Test captain, isn't it? So we are not changing that. But I have got a question that what do you do? What are we supposed to do when a team loses 8-0 overseas? Kapil Dev is somebody who I respect enormously. He's one of the greatest I've seen. I've got a question for him now, that what happens and what do you do if he's the selector that a team has lost 8-0 overseas? Can Kapil Dev put his hand to his heart and say that if he was captain of India at this stage, he would have been retained further?
Kapil? No, definitely no. I think they would have removed me or removed somebody. I think the cricket have changed in recent time. I'm not saying that. I think when you are just changing a captain because you lost 8 test matches, what happened to the top of the top cricketer who have averaged more than 50? What happened to them? Nobody is talking to them. Drop them also. Then when you are not playing well in England, not playing in Australia, you only want to sack the captain because he lost 8 test matches. Yes, rightly so. When nobody plays well, the team struggle, the first shot goes towards the captain. But I think then selector have to take a call. Are you ready to make a new team? Then I would like to see. If all the 3-4 top players are not playing, I don't mind making a Virat Kohli as a captain. Then you can say, okay, you take a young team. But only sacking captain Dhoni for that, because 8 test matches we lost. Rightly, he deserved the credit when he won the World Cup. He get all the punishment or criticism when you lose 8 test matches in a row. But understand that he has the greatest cricketer playing with him. What happened to them also? We have to say team is as good as captain, captain is as good as team.
Let Saurav Ganguly respond to that. That if you have to remove Dhoni, then you must also remove Sachin, Sehwag, Lakshman, Dravid, and then get in someone like a Gambhir and a Virat Kohli, because they've all failed. That's what Kapil Dev says, Dada.
Well, okay, you talk about, I really don't talk. The reason why I say Mahendra Singh Dhoni has to be removed as test captain is not just because he's lost test matches. Look at his performance as a player. If he wasn't captain, would Kapil Dev or anyone as a selector go and pick him in the next test match? You wouldn't, because of his performances as a batsman.
Kapil?
See, when you talk about Tendulkar, you talk about Dravid, they average 54, 55 in test cricket.
But
when you
they
average
had
54,
average.
55 in
they
test
had.
cricket,
They're not having average now.
Matches, you still get another.
I think they had an average. I'm not denying that. When you make a new young captain, you don't impose 6 senior cricketers who have 10 years or 15 years of cricket, then it's very difficult. I've gone through that. That's why I'm saying that. No need. I don't think so. Virender Sehwag only won a few runs he got in Bombay against Sri Lanka or something. He haven't done anything great also. Or West Indies, I'm sorry. So I think when all these top 6 players are, if anybody you are going to make a captain, it is very, very tough. You believe it or not. If you want to make a new team for the future, yeah, let these senior cricketers, give them respect, let them play whatever the selector thinks, or these senior cricketers, even Sachin, Rahul or Lakshman, how long you want to play, show us the road map, and then
whom would you like to see being brought in? Whom do you want out of the team?
No, it's a selector's job. It's a selector's job. It's not about individuals. All those guys who haven't performed will have to make way for the others.
Would you drop Suresh Raina? Would you drop Suresh Raina? Would you drop Rohit Sharma? Do you keep them in because the next series is going to be in subcontinental conditions?
Well, if you don't leave them out, how do you give the likes of Manoj Tiwari or somebody else who's performed well for India? How do you give them an opportunity? And if you don't give them an opportunity, you don't find them how good they are. So you have to give them opportunities. That's the name of the sport. You perform, you play. You don't perform, somebody else plays.
Kapil, what are the changes you'd like to see the selectors make?
I think definitely the people, if we setting a yardstick, it should be for everybody. Manoj Tiwari, why didn't he play throughout the tournament? What sort of saying, I'm 100% agree with him. I think again and again, yes, somebody shows the temperament and the ability, but he doesn't perform. You have to bring the young players. Virat Kohli come out and we can see that. You have to give chance to another cricketers and say, people, maybe you have a big name, you have to step out, let the young team come out and try to play something big cricket. You have to bring the new cricketer, and that's what it's required.
Some of the old guard must make way for the new.
Either they play so well and say, no, we can't drop you, you are. like what captain said, these senior cricketers are very tough. They give 20 runs extra. Biggest controversies. I would say only one thing. If these 3 senior cricketers keep on getting runs, I think 20 runs doesn't pinch us.
They haven't got the runs on this.
When you don't get runs and you are there and minus 20 runs, then a captain does get affected.
Some tough decisions need to be taken. Some of the big names need to be moved out. Youngsters need to be given a chance. You can't have played 100 matches and yet think that you're young and upcoming. You need to deliver like Virat Kohli has done. To my guests this evening, Sourav Ganguly and Kapil Dev, it's been a pleasure. A very, very thoughtful, insightful discussion on the future of Indian cricket. And the match